7 o'clock, we can begin. I want to welcome everybody to the March 18th, 2025 zoning board of appeals meeting. We have 3 items on the agenda. Actually, we have 2 since the structure core company's use variance application has been withdrawn. Now, what we had done is we had set a public hearing for that. So I'm going to make a motion that we close the public hearing regarding that application.
Did we ever open? I mean, we said it.
Yes, it was open.
It was open, yeah, so, right. So I'm going to make a motion that we close.
Then I'll second it.
Okay.
Okay. Chairman Gage,
All right,
Vice Chairman Lack,
Aye.
Board Member Boggs,
aye,
Board Member Gangster,
aye.
Board Member Leone.
Aye.
So, so we have the 2 use variance applications. And then we have our meeting minutes from the previous meeting to address. At this time, what we like to do is have an open forum or privilege of the floor. I'm going to make a motion that we open the privilege of the floor.
Second motion.
Chairman Gage,
Aye.
Board Member Leone,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Lack,
Aye.
Board Member Gangster,
Aye.
Board Member Boggs.
Aye.
You don't want to address anything that isn't on the agenda, right?
No, I'm Robert Brockman.
Yeah,
we figured that,
Okay.
in case you had something other than your application due.
I'm with that.
And do we have any Zoom participants?
No.
Okay. Well, that being said, I'm going to make a motion that we close the open forum.
Second.
Was that? Yes, okay. Chairman Gage,
Aye.
Board Member Gangster,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Lack,
Aye.
Board Member Boggs,
Aye.
Board Member Leone.
Aye.
We're expecting somebody from Verizon.
Yes, but I don't see anybody.
Okay, all right. That being said, Robert Brockroy,
Mhm.
you're up. Now my understanding is that you had originally been directed to the planning board.
Mhm.
Okay, and I guess there was some,
Yeah, they were gonna give me the special use permit or something like that, and then I guess there was a bunch of categories, and I guess I didn't fall underneath any of those exact categories, so they said I had to get a blueprint or whatever, I had to have a architect draw it up and then come to you guys,
okay,
so that's what I did.
okay. So my understanding is that you're gonna be looking for a use permit.
I guess that's what I need,
Okay, now,
because I talked to Chris, and that's kind of what he said.
yes, okay. Actually, why don't you tell us what you're looking to have done and then we'll,
So I have 6 acres on North Road, and I just store fence material there, and my trucks and my equipment.
okay,
And then me and my guys meet there in the morning, we load up, go do a job, go back, that's it.
okay. So of the 6 acres, how much, yeah, so you're looking for, to be able to maintain materials for the fencing?
Yeah, it's all palletized, it's, kind of like a rotating stock, I usually get a bunch in the spring. And then use it out throughout the season, because I get a better deal, because I buy it in bulk,
Okay,
so.
and what kind of fencing, it's like chain link?
Yeah, 4, 5, and 6 foot black chain like I stock 6 foot white vinyl, and then I stock series 200 aluminum black, which is like you do around the pools.
Okay,
I just stock the basics,
okay,
because a lot of times it's like, hey, I got this in stock, you wanna do it, I can do it next week, and it works out pretty well.
so how much area would the
I
materials?
I think you guys might have gotten the drawing, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you can put it on there, or if there's a way I could show you guys. 'Cause I kinda got it set up. I don't know if it'll say how many acres is what. Pointed on that.
There you go.
So pretty much it's just this back area. So what I tried to do is put it as far away from everybody, so nobody would see it, it wouldn't bother anybody, they wouldn't hear anything. This is kind of just a little area where my guy parked our trucks in trailers, and then this is just all the fence material.
Okay. And so how many square feet would the storage of the materials?
I mean, it's whatever this is right here, so.
Okay,
And it's not like it's a permanent, nothing's a permanent structure, it can all move, it's all palletized. And I mean, I have a pipe rack here that's not cemented in the ground or nothing, just I can move it around wherever I want. So nothing's permanent.
okay.
Hey, someday I would love to build a garage here, but when I have $400,000. Yeah,
So is this like basically the site of your operation? You don't have a facility elsewhere?
no. I mean, I own a house down the road where I have an office, you know what I mean, I just do paperwork.
Okay, so there's
There's no
no,
customers coming here.
okay,
Yeah, I mean, maybe once in a while, somebody will wanna buy a poster or a gate or something, yeah, somebody will come there, but it's not like people are coming there all day.
okay. So would they go to your house first and then you'd meet up? Or
Yeah.
you arrange to meet them at?
Yeah, I mean, once, twice a year, maybe, it's not like. I go to a customer's house, I measure, and then I send them a proposal, if they wanna do the job, then we go install the job there.
Okay, and that parcel is about 6 acres.
Yes, but so, this is off my parents' original land, I own 15 acres, and they gifted me this 6 acres. And then, I was originally gonna build a house, and then I bought the house down the road, it's gonna cost so much money to build a house, so I. Got a good deal on a house down the road that I rebuilt, you know what I mean, so, then I just started using this for my business stuff.
Hmm,
Over time, it's not like this was like just one day, it's, you know, I grew up doing this, my grandfather was rival fence, so it's not like. One day I was just, oh, I'm gonna be a fence installer. I tried to get away from it, kept pulling me back in.
So there's no structures on this property currently?
There's a shed over here that I got for free that I let my kids play in.
Okay,
Yeah.
but there's no house or anything?
Nope.
Okay,
I mean, all right here, I planted a bunch of apple and cherry trees, I wanna keep planting apple and cherry trees. I'm just gonna be my own goal with it. I mean, kind of mixed use, I mean, I don't know, it's like store my business materials, so.
right,
It's easier than me going to a supplier every day and getting it, and I save a lot of time, I get the stuff cheaper, it's. More beneficial for me to do it this way.
the only reason I'm asking is because, and I think I'd even ask Chris about this. Is whether this would fall under what is permitted as a home occupation business where you're basically working out of your home. If it's kind of limited in certain size and scope.
Yeah, I don't, he said to do this stuff and come to you guys, and then you guys will give me some special use variant permit or whatnot.
Well, it's not a special use,
Yeah,
that's something that's permitted.
Mhm.
The problem, because this is R2 zoning.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not specifically permitted for this.
Mhm.
So, and the use, the requirements to get a use variance approval are fairly strict. I mean, if we thought that we could see this in terms of a home occupation arrangement, but I don't know if we could do that. So any thoughts?
It would have to be contiguous property, right? How far away is your house?
quarter-mile down the road, it's 10697 Rival Road.
Who owns the intervening land between?
My parents own it. They just died, I'm trying to buy that house. Cause they got 5 acres there, that was Frank and Olga, I mean, I've been there since 1996, I know everybody around me. They're all old and I take care of them now, so. This behind it's vacant, that's an L-shaped 40 acre parcel that goes all the way over there, the guy dug a well. And he's planning on building a house over there on Rival Road. He butts right up next to Rival Materials. So I'm actually trying to buy that off him too. I just wanna stay away from everybody and not bother anybody and just keep doing what I'm doing. That's why I live out here.
I was looking for home occupation permit. Requirements, one of them, it says, does not occupy more than 25% of the total floor area. Used for residential purposes or 1,500 square feet of any accessory structure. But it may be that the materials you're storing cover more than 1,500 square feet.
It's possible, yeah. I didn't measure it, so I didn't, you know.
Well.
Yeah, well, that's, yeah, that kind of,
Without a structure or anything want.
It's really just palletized material.
Like, why does this require any variance or permit or anything?
I was just brought to my attention through the grapevine that somebody's like, you should do this before you get in trouble, and somebody puts red tape in front of your driveway and says you can't work anymore. And
Well,
it's how I provide my.
I guess I'm
living for
just
my
curious
family.
what prohibits.
only because it's not listed as a permitted
Use.
use.
Yeah, like when I went to the other meeting, they wanted to give me that permit then, but they went through the list and they're like, unfortunately, you don't fall underneath any of these.
Sure.
categories.
Yeah.
They're like, if you were a garage, yeah, you're fine, you could do that. If you wanna be a daycare, yeah, you could do that. There was a whole bunch of things I could do.
Right,
Evidently, the thing that I do is not permitted. I mean, my grandfather did it for 50 years and nobody knew he did it there on Grease Road.
okay, so
But that he lived there too, so, but he never got no permits or nothing. He moved there in 1950.
right, well, that was probably prior to the requirements that are in place now, so. You can have a seat.
Okay.
So probably better. Um.
Yeah, it would be nice to get whatever, so someday if I did wanna build a garage, but if I have to come back. You know, I mean, I don't know when the funds will be available for that, but someday I would love to build a garage.
Yeah, well, that, at that point, you would have to get a building permit,
Yeah,
you know,
Yeah.
This has to do. I guess the way the ordinances are written is that they allow certain activities.
Mhm.
And there's not really anything that specifically describes an activity that's permitted.
yeah, cause I mean, I understand like ordinances in town, so like certain places, I won't start working until 7 o'clock in the morning. It's not like, you know, I plan on doing stuff 24/7.
Right.
I mean, we meet there 7 o'clock in the morning, load the trucks, and we're out of there in 30 minutes, and we're not back till 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, everybody gets in their car and drives away.
So how many are in your crew?
I got 4 guys,
4 guys.
yeah, when they show up.
This needs to work.
Now, I gotta, what about like rezoning? Is that a possibility or like Variable Material, they're blowing stuff up down there?
Yeah. Well, everything in that neck of the woods is R2, correct?
What's Variable Material? They have a special permit to be digging out.
Falling. under a special use permit.
Yeah, I mean, they've been running dump trucks since I was a little kid. The guy that originally owned it when I was a kid, every day, all day was running dump trucks. It's just what he did.
Yeah,
That's how he made his living. I think Kurt Clark. He's got his dumpsters. He's
Yeah,
right around the road.
yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with that. We're just trying to figure out a way that we can make this happen. The use variance is, again, provided you would be requesting to conduct an activity that's not listed.
Mhm.
And again, there are obviously other things that are, whether they're outright permitted or might require, site plan approval or a special use permit.
What's the ordinance we're looking at? Well,
Well, it would be, Section 8, agricultural and residential district R2. So it's any of the permitted uses, which also include uses requiring site plan approval or uses permitted by special use permit.
Anything between 8.2 and 8.4.
Yeah. Now, the parcel that your house is on and this parcel, are they two separate deeds?
So,
Yeah.
like it is. I mean, if you count his parents as part of it, it is all contiguous.
Hmm.
So if this is an accessory use to the home business. Maybe.
Well, again, that's.
so we would need a business. A home business. Yeah.
Right, well, let me ask you this, did you ever, when you started doing this and you put the office in your house, did you ask for a permit? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't, why do I need a permit, in my opinion? You know what I mean? I'm just, all I'm doing is, I have a desk in there and paperwork.
right,
Yeah.
right. If, say that your house was on this particular parcel.
Yeah.
Then we could look at that as being.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Well, there is. Now I recall, I think the gentleman's name was Farnham, the one that had the foam spray business. Do you recall that? And we,
How far back was that? It's not familiar.
yeah, it might have been before you guys were, but the thing was that he asked for, and we granted him a home occupation.
Right.
And he had on his property a big, like, trailer that had all the materials that he used for his job.
Right.
And he kept them there, and then he was just able to go from there. So doesn't appear to be a prohibition from having materials, you know,
For the
incidental.
right, which is
Yeah.
why what I'm wondering. If we have him, if we have you amend it to include the actual home occupation. Say they're all contiguous parcels owned within the family.
Okay, so did you mention that your parents are still alive?
Yeah.
They are?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can call my mom right now.
No, I-
She said I could do it.
No, I-
Be a partner in the business.
I tried to get her to do the paperwork, she doesn't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah. But originally, that particular parcel was part of their
Yeah.
original.
Yeah.
And they deeded that to you?
Yes,
Okay.
It seems that if there was a garage on the parcel, it would be permitted.
Well,
A lot of these are
I'm
much
not
higher.
sure that's usually
Yeah,
go down
that's
the
right.
road we
Yeah.
did with structure 4.
Yeah.
Well, cause that's, I'm friends with Tyler Hewitt, and that's where he got his special use permit for his thing over there on Route 30, cause it's a garage. And it's a repair facility.
Right.
Oh, but that might be because what is allowed for like storage and the like is in C2, which is light industrial.
But I don't think his is zoned that, but I could be wrong, I don't know.
A definition for storage.
So and then you say,
Yeah, no, it can.
if I had a garage, I could get this permit then, or use?
Well, if you were if you had a garage that you were using for storage,
So what happens if I apply for a building permit to do it and I just haven't built it yet?
well, the building would only last
A year?
a year, I think, yeah, but then you have to renew.
Okay. With $100.
I guess the question is, it doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be the sort of garage you're thinking necessarily.
Okay.
You know, it could be something in the nature of a pole barn or a.
What about a shipping container?
Don't go down that road.
Okay, no.
That opens up a whole different can
Okay.
of worms, but. you know,
Only if
something
you
that-
intend to try to live in it. That's. Which,
Well,
that's.
You know,
what,
or if you just leave it as,
well, since it's not
you know, on this
agricultural.
property.
We came up with a term that I'm looking for.
So what about the one shed that I got? I can't say that's for fence storage?
How big is the shed?
8x8,
Yeah.
8x10.
Yeah, which is probably way too small for.
I can store all the fittings in there. They're nice and organized.
All right, so so what size structure would be adequate for you to store all your materials?
I would love a 40x60. Cause then I can park my trucks in there over the winter, cause I mean, we don't install fence in the winter, everything gets shut down, and I usually drive 18-wheeler. I drive through DFA in the winter.
Okay,
That's what the ground, the top, the frost is gone now, so that's what we just did an install yesterday, did one today.
oh,
Yeah.
right,
It's like digging in concrete then, it's kind of fun.
no. No, and the ground got a lot harder than it has been
In
in
a
previous
couple years,
winters,
yeah.
you know? Just. Yeah, the definition of outside storage of material, the unenclosed placement or deposit of natural or man-made objects or materials for future use. Of which that sounds very much what you're looking to want to do.
Yeah.
So. But it doesn't kind of indicate where you could do that. Well,
C two has warehousing and storage.
Right, but there's this,
it does say so in C2,
Mhm.
which is again, the light.
well, it's warehousing, but it didn't,
Now,
but it didn't use the term the outside storage that you.
no, not,
I mean, we define that term and then that's not allowed.
It has storage facility.
Right, well, but I thought when it said storage facility, it was. That was last time that was referring to storage unit, the storage units business.
That's right.
We had another term that we. Found that described was, that this seemed to fall in. Zoning district. Or specifically housing goods for fee. The storage facility.
housing goods.
This is outside storage, yeah. And this is this, which just does.
Yeah,
I mean, we define that term and then it doesn't. Like appear anywhere.
no, it doesn't, which is, and this storage facility sounds, based on that
Yeah,
other definition, the storage units that
right,
are,
yeah, so you must be charging a fee to store.
Yeah.
Yeah. Building, again, we could fit under storage building, but again, that is not listed in any.
There's no storage yard or anything like that?
uh. Well, it depends on how you. You know, interpret some of these definitions, again. In C2, which is manufacturing and light industrial, they have storage facility, which we're kind of looking at. Ones for a fee, they also have warehousing, which is just the outright storage of materials, is it not?
Mhm.
So,
No, only if engaged in the wholesale distribution of manufactured products.
it's excluding bulk storage of, yeah.
But it's fun,
Yeah.
I said there's a fairly
Hmm.
extensive definition of that.
But, all right, let me ask you this, what is, what is being currently done that is in violation of the zoning ordinance?
So that was my question.
Right, so it kind of gets back to that,
Well, is it because I'm conducting business?
well,
I mean, do you guys want more taxes?
no.
We would be collecting them anyway.
Yes. All right, so I did, for this. If we were to feel that a use variance would be necessary. And then the criteria for that, and there's 4 of them. The first being the applicant cannot realize a reasonable return as shown by competent financial evidence. And illustrations of financial evidence are bill of sale for the property, present value of the property, expenses for maintenance. leases, rental agreements, tax bills. I mean. I just don't even see how
I
that would
don't
specifically
see-
apply.
Yeah. I think. The best bet is to relate this back to the home occupation.
Okay, yeah,
But then we have to relate this parcel to the house. It's all in the family.
To
it's
the home
contiguous.
business.
Yeah, that's
We have to relate it to the home business.
right. I mean, this is definitely subsidiary to the business. It's just a question of the parcels are separated by an intervening parcel, but of course that's owned by his parents.
but like you say, it's all contiguous.
It's all contiguous within the family. So I think we probably would find, assuming this is considered part of the home business. We could put something in there. Best I can come up with, given what we're working.
Yeah, I agree, because it. Fine.
Meanwhile, I think we should talk to the town board about allowing, not necessarily an R2 if they don't want, but actually.
Well,
Define
if they put it in R2, they will be on the permitted, special use,
well,
the special use permit.
yeah, but telling us where we're going to allow storage buildings or what was the.
No, the outside storage of
Or
material.
the outside storage of
Yes.
materials, yes, we define it and then it doesn't go.
Yeah, but I'm saying if they added to the, uses permitted by special use permit,
Right,
which can be rescinded if the business ever folds and
right,
goes someplace else.
right.
Hmm.
I mean, they define that term and then in none of the districts.
Yeah,
does it-
because it's the one term that's not defined anywhere. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, humble opinion, if it's not specifically permitted, is it forbidden?
Well, exactly. No,
Yeah,
I don't, I mean,
I mean,
I was just trying to do the right thing, I didn't wanna get
no,
too
no,
far
no.
behind, I was just like, somebody's like. hey, yeah, we
You're
should
the
fix this
second
thing.
person in a month who's come up with a very similar.
Oh, okay.
There is a lack of specificity.
specificity.
Yeah.
That's the word.
Exactly.
But here, that's tying us in knots over here, you know?
Yeah.
Because we want to do the right thing and then the right thing for the town and it's not there.
of course, in that other circumstance, the property was not owned.
Right.
It was, again. a
Right, and
person-
there was no home anywhere.
Yeah.
Related to it.
And it was a much larger.
Right,
But the other request is because the sale would be contingent on it being
Right.
allowed.
Right, and that's not,
right,
all that unique either.
right, oh, yeah. But if we had guidance of where storage buildings and outside storage of material were allowed.
Yeah,
What was the, you had a sample law of a storage yard from another municipality, and it was a term that was being used there.
Right.
oh, the laydown yard?
That's what I
Yeah, in
was
fact,
looking
that's
for
what they're
before.
doing in the village of Delanson.
Ah,
But apparently their zoning,
Oh,
I guess
village zone.
provides for that, yeah.
and that's what we're talking about.
Right.
Hey, that's exactly what we're talking about, yeah. In fact,
I don't wanna do this in the village, do you?
well, no, that kind of defeats the purpose of, you know, having
It's
the-
probably a better.
your
place.
stuff.
Well, I try to
further
put far
away.
away and then leave everybody alone, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Or keep on keeping on.
Yeah. I mean, just as far as one of the use variance criteria, you must show the economic hardship, inability to obtain a reasonable return on the property resulted or would result unless a variance is granted. If he couldn't keep his stuff on his property and was forced to go elsewhere and then have to pay a rental or something like that.
You might have to run that one by Teresa.
Yes, well, when I did talk to her, she did want me to get back to her.
Okay,
Because the thought was even if structure 4 were still considering their.
Right.
We were not gonna make a decision because it would have been based on, they would have provided that information at the last minute, so we would want time to review it, so. Um. So as we speak, you're conducting this activity and you've got stuff already stored
I've
there?
been doing this since 2019.
Okay, all right. Well, that's fine. I mean,
I
that's,
mean, slowly it got bigger and bigger. I mean, COVID was honestly really good for me. During COVID, everybody got a pool and everybody got a puppy, so everybody needed a fence. I was very
home
busy.
improvement
Yeah,
projects, yeah,
nobody went on vacations,
yeah.
so I was very busy. It's definitely slower this year, but I'm okay with a break.
Hmm. So again, square footage, what you said, a 40 by 60 building would be large enough for you to store all your materials and your vehicles?
Yeah,
Okay. So that's 2,400 square feet. Hmm.
Private garage. Because I think we had that discussion of building 4.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at, say, of the permitted uses, what are ones that basically have like an exchange of materials? You know, say a craft shop, if you were, you would have something that could be developed there and then it would go elsewhere. Unlike, say, a museum where all the, you know, the activity would be confined to that particular site, if there was one there. And even this office building for one business occupant, that's apparently allowed, I mean.
Well, that seemed to, when I look at the definition, yes, cover like administration.
What are they, natural production use, what the heck is that?
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
I think that's what the other
A
hearing.
parcel of land or part thereof used for the purpose of excavation, extraction, and sale or exchange of, for commercial, industrial, or municipal use of soil, sand, gravel, clay, shale, or other natural deposits, or the quarrying of any kind of rock formation or similar uses. I don't think you can fit this under
I
some.
think that's what
Okay,
the other
yeah.
guys, I mean, that's how the other guys blowing things up.
But you were mentioning about there was some activity that you said there was trucks,
That was,
was like a quarry type thing?
yeah, Marival material, and it was Marival P, and.
Oh, okay, I
Yeah.
right, I remember.
Probably.
So that's
I mean,
Yeah.
Larder's is pulling stuff out of there.
But not
They're
all.
bagging it up and they're selling it to mushroom farmers in Pennsylvania. They're putting it in bags and there's some putting it on 18-wheelers and it's going down to Pennsylvania for mushroom farmers.
Gotcha.
It's whatever the nitrogen levels or whatever in the soil, it's a 10 out of 10. That's why it's what it is, it's special. Glacier runoff or something like that, I don't know, hundreds of millions of years it took to make.
So, again, how did it come to pass that it was recommended that you needed to
I
get?
just heard through the grapevine.
Oh,
So I mean, no one from code enforcement or anything, so.
It was from somebody, it was word of mouth, whether it was true or not, maybe it wasn't true. I don't know. And then I was just like, oh, okay, I'll just go talk to you guys and just get it squared out or make sure, because I mean, I've heard stories of guys that used to have garages, I think it was Bernie's Transmissions or whatever it was, and something over there, and he was working on cars out of his house and they went there and red taped it and shut them down. But this wasn't used guys, that was the town of Rodigan.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, South County Station Road, whatever that garage used to be over there that he's working out of his house.
Oh, at Princetown?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Huh. Well, my inclination is to. There's nothing prohibiting this, so it's not like we're gonna recommend it be ceased. If anything, we're trying to find some justification that it can continue. And again, I just think that
Yeah,
the use variance is kind of a hard way to go. Unless, you know, if you were gonna develop this and expand it more so.
I mean, I'd love to have 2 crews, 3 crews, but whether I'm gonna have, you have to find people that are worth the shit, you know what I mean? That's why I do it all myself, because I care about quality. I
Yeah,
put my name on it. They were good enough to do it, they do it themselves.
so would it be reasonable to maybe table this until we got more input?
Okay, you can set up a public hearing, I'm just not sure from what.
Well, they,
Yeah.
yes, and that's why I would. Yeah, wait on that, and
Okay,
again, then decide, because if it does require some, you
okay,
know, acknowledgement, then we'll set a public hearing. But until that time, I don't see, again, what grounds we would have to, you know, recommend it again, that this has to stop. Or
Because the definition of outside storage of material needs to be introduced someplace,
right,
Yeah.
you know, so.
yes.
Why specifically it's not there.
There doesn't seem to be an ordinance preventing.
Exactly, so,
I mean, if I was a farm, I could do whatever then, but I'm not a farmer.
no,
Could
Well,
you
you
just?
got-
Well, that's why I put the apple trees there.
Yeah.
You're a farm down.
Yeah.
yeah.
He got 6 acres, you can, over there, you can pay a couple of them.
You plant the fruit trees,
Yeah.
orchards and berries.
Yeah, it's like go to Guernsey's and buy a couple every year.
Yeah,
If you're gonna hold on to it for long enough. you
Well, I
can
just
plant
figure for
more.
my kids or my grandkids, whatever. It'd be cool to have your own apple orchard.
Yeah.
actually, Matt, let me ask you this, how is it that you conduct your activities at your house?
So my, so it's a private garage, that's what my shop is.
Gotcha, okay,
And I mean, all of my work is installing, at people's houses, so, so. Yeah, I have some equipment in my private garage that
and obviously you
supplements
store
my.
your materials that,
Cabinet making, but.
Yeah.
yeah, but again, it's just.
I keep, yeah, I don't keep a lot of materials in stock, but
Right, but you do have some storage of materials
Right.
that you need for your,
it's in my old barn,
right,
just part of it. I call it the boardroom.
There is nothing in the definition of a private garage that things along with the trucks can't be kept in it.
yeah, I mean, define a private garage.
Well, it is defined, an enclosed space not available in the public for the storage of one or more motor vehicles.
Okay.
It doesn't say that things other than a motor vehicle
Yeah.
can be kept in it.
Hmm.
Nor would it if you were to put up rather than what you're thinking of a garage,
Mhm.
instead a carport.
Hmm.
And the trucks and this other material would be under the carport.
Yeah,
Would that be allowable as a private garage?
well, I mean, how many vehicles do you personally own that are used for your
Well, me or the
fencing?
business?
The business.
1, 2, 4,
Okay. And they would normally be on your property,
yeah, they're parked there right now.
okay?
On this parcel or at your house?
No, right there.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
The trucks are parked in that area
Yeah.
up front there, when you described it before.
Yeah. I got 2 cement mixers, I got 3 trailers. I got a boxer, I got a skidster, I got an excavator. Forestry mulcher. Cool. It is fun. I saw one and I go, I want one of those.
So, again, my inclination is that we can make a motion to table this application until we get more information and decide whether it's even necessary to require a use permit.
Okay.
Second that.
Use permit or home business?
Well, that, we'll explore that, but that's what the original application indicated. That was the need for a use permit, but I just think that's, above and beyond, I mean, you're not, like making the fencing on this property, you're just having the material
Yeah.
there available
And just
to
like
you.
wood, like he does to build a cabinet, yeah.
Yeah,
No, I'm just, yeah. I just built a fence.
right.
Yeah.
I was gonna have a question.
Well, it's funny because I actually had gotten out, the map of, the town of Duanesburg and all the different areas with the different zoning. And again, the light industrial stuff is primarily, up by, where you get onto I-88 over that way.
Yep.
There's a couple of spot areas, I think the one on Mott Road, it might be for, isn't there a storage unit up that way that he's got that big neon sign?
Oh, well, he's on 20.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
No, I know,
But-
yeah. no,
okay,
they're-
but there's
they're in the
other
neighborhood,
areas.
Yeah,
um,
yes, no, there's. Light industrial covers that part of 20, yes.
right, but also at the other end of 20, kind of where Esperance Auto is. And then there's the what's the name of the propane outfit there?
Desperate.
So there's
Asper
propane there, you got long energy propane.
Right,
Storage in it.
but he's got all those, you know, propane tanks, and that's, again, storage for, you know, his operation. Of course, that's in the C2, the light industrial.
Right, yeah. Well, I remember when long energy got its variance. I was not on board at that, but it was my neighborhood.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I don't think, I don't know if I was even on the board there, because that was,
It would have been. When we were there, it had to be over after we had done, must have been somewhere close to 2010. That would be my guess.
okay. Anyway, that's, yeah, because the other thing is that outfit Needful Things, the antique shop. I mean, I don't see any, that appears to be all R2. That's just down the road from where this Structure Ford outfit was looking to. I don't know how that,
Well, in R2, an antique shop requires site.
oh,
plan
okay, so
approval.
that's how they were
It's
doing that,
probably, yeah.
yeah.
And that used to be a restaurant.
Yeah.
There's a history of antique shop. The Needful Things. A long decades.
Yeah, it was a,
Thought it was like
It's like
a
a
hotel.
French restaurant.
you're right, yeah, a fancy bar, I guess, but it was also a bar because I remember.
It was a good restaurant too.
Yeah,
So
Yes.
before my
The
time.
Lions Club used to meet there.
so what we've done, we've just tabled the motion because we don't feel that we really have enough to go on to make a determination.
Okay.
And we'll explore it and then, at that point, if we do have something that will conduct a public hearing, basically you'll be notifying people, especially your neighbors or surrounding area, that this is what's going on and.
They all know.
Yeah, and then again,
We wave at each other.
we'll take it from there.
Okay.
Because again, you know, some of these things come up that were not necessarily addressed in the zoning ordinance, so it's.
Okay.
We're just, in lieu of, again, of having to get a use variance, which, I don't know, it's a lot more harder to meet those requirements than it would be something that.
What's really the difference between a use variance and a permit?
Well, a permit is basically something that's already permitted, but you do need to get like a special use permit.
Hmm.
A use variance is something that you want to conduct an activity that's not normally allowed in that particular zoning.
Okay,
Like, you know, if you wanted to, I don't know,
so like how they do the Harley Rendezvous?
well, that's, actually, they might have, they have to get permitting for that, but like if you wanted to have a Jiffy Lube or something,
Okay,
you know, next to somebody who was living residentially.
yeah,
That would be a hard sell.
Yeah.
But that's would be something that could be provided by a use variance.
okay,
Again, they're really hard, and it was deliberately done so. Again, to not have different activities, almost,
well, we wanna keep it country.
exactly, and that's kind of,
It's a creek to get in there.
yes.
I want a Starbucks out here.
You know, basically our comprehensive plan, that's the, like opening statement, there's a desire to keep it as kind of agricultural in nature as much as possible. And the zoning ordinance, the zoning is mapped out, you can do this here, you can do this there, that kind of thing, so. But. So that's what we'll do. We'll try
Okay,
to-
so I'll wait to hear from you guys, or Chris will call me, or somebody will call me.
Yeah,
or send me a letter.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, And we'll consult with the town attorney.
Okay.
We need to vote on tabling it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
I second that.
oh, he seconded,
He
yeah.
seconded it, but there was no
Yeah.
vote.
Chairman Gage,
I,
Board Member Leone,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Lack.
Aye.
Board Member Boggs,
Aye.
Board Member Gangster.
Aye.
okay, so
Thank you.
we're good for now.
Okay, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Because whatever affects him will affect the others, like the other people.
Well, the people have withdrawn, but I don't.
Yeah, but I mean,
The huge difference between
it wouldn't be fair to, it wouldn't be fair to the other people to accommodate this guy and not them.
Well, that is true,
If they decide to reapply again.
well, only if they were to, I don't know if you, in the email, and I made mention of the county referral. And what the advisory note on the county referral, they deferred to local consideration, but they said in the advisory note that there's nothing in their application that, warranted, the approval of a use variance. So,
I think we need guidance on where a storage building. Or,
It needs to be added.
an outside yard could be.
yeah,
The outside use, the 3.5.1 roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would cover both this and
Yeah,
the others.
because they're basically the same thing.
Right.
yes.
And they're just not, it's in the definitions and then isn't listed under any.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny because, like I say,
Just for 2
the
years.
village at Delancey, I'd like to see their
Yeah.
zoning because that's where that idea of the laydown yard.
Is that like next to the railroad tracks?
It's kind of behind where the post office is, yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah, all right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they have a provision for that and
Yeah.
we probably should have at least something other than just compelling people to, limit that kind of thing to, the C2 areas.
I suppose the other question and what would differentiate this from the other people is if we related it back to his home business. The others didn't have a house nearby that they were running the business out of.
Right, yeah.
Right. Well, the other thing too is that, they were gonna. Because if you looked at, in fact, here's the, this is kind of hard to read, but like these are the areas where that light gray, the light industrial stuff. And here, and there was a weird place on 20, close to Mont Road.
That's probably, yeah.
Yeah, but it was even a separate thing.
Oh.
But they were gonna basically have, there's nothing even proximate,
Right,
it's all R2 in
right,
this area. And they were only gonna use a small,
right.
part of that A1,
Yeah, and going back in the woods, yeah.
yeah, and even, but again, they could request a zoning change, now whether they would want to do that, because there are other places in the town that would permit that kind of thing.
Well, again, only sort of, they were looking at a laydown yard or an outside storage facility, which is not fitting under C2
Right. Yeah,
even.
um,
And it just, we left it
well, but again,
unzoned.
yes, but this had not presented itself prior to this.
Right, this is twice in a month.
Yes, well, I think initially, Chris, when he saw the applications, he thought they were ones that could be
Right.
dealt with via special use permit. But then I guess the planning board decided that they couldn't do that,
Right.
so,
Yeah,
They
probably
went
for
back
the
to
same
us.
reason, yeah.
yes.
This-
All right.
need to do anything with the garage.
No, the only
Since they're
thing
not here, it's just on it's on
Yeah.
the agenda.
They were supposed to be here. I don't know
Yeah.
if they're there.
I mean, it's tabled, it's still tabled.
Okay,
The only thing I thought we would be doing was just acknowledging that they completed their test, they've got all the information they need. We would have to set a public hearing to provide for the use
Right.
variance, which is a lot easier because it's,
it falls under the cell tower. There's a special
Exactly.
cell tower ordinance. that-
yeah, it's,
Yes.
I think it's the Rosenbaum or
Yeah.
whatever. Rosenberg area variance, that would almost have been a no-brainer because it's a necessary public utility. So,
Even if it was public utility uses are allowed in.
yes,
Anywhere.
so, and then they would still have to go back to the planning board and try to work out the rest of the details.
Yeah.
You may need to be present for us to.
No, I think what we just established is since they're tabled, we don't need to untable them.
Yeah,
We
Yeah.
just leave it as is without addressing it anyway.
I mean, it's kind of their. The onus is on them to, come to us, because if they have to go back to the planning board, then. But again, they had gotten delayed because the weather had been not conducive to doing that balloon test. So. I think the only thing they did is they amended the illustrations by putting where the balloon would appear depending on the different perspectives, so. All right. So other than that, the only thing left is the meeting minutes. And the only thing I did note is that where the word council was used, I think we made a recommendation that they seek land use, advice from an attorney. That the council should be COUNCEL. Is that right?
Yes.
No,
No,
I
that's
think
not.
you can say you have.
CIO.
All right, let me look at it.
Why don't you just change it to attorney?
Well, yeah, let me. Sure.
Reach out to someone who is knowledgeable.
Yeah, it
It
was,
doesn't have to be, doesn't necessarily have to be an attorney, just. Reach out to someone knowledgeable in these
Okay.
matters and,
Subject matter expert.
yeah.
yeah, actually, shouldn't it should be COUNSEL.
That's.
Yes, that's the correct spelling, because this is a council.
So that's what I thought.
Anyway, it's not a big deal, but it's just. And just what research I had done as far as use variances. Again. Really, the applicants should be responsible for getting, the information independently of what we tell them
Yeah.
that they need, because. Again, if we don't adequately convey that information, and then depending on how it turns out, I don't want to be held responsible for, I mean, as a board, so that, again. So those, court cases that, Teresa had provided that I shared. And what was interesting was that in both circumstances, they were denied by the zoning board. And then I guess the applicants, appealed the decision. One of them was upheld and the other one was overturned. And I asked her, well, are there circumstances where this, zoning board of appeals approved something and somebody, challenged it, legally?
Probably are, but it's much rarer.
Yes, that's what I was thinking too. But and of course, I guess our concern would be that we have to be careful if we do approve something that we're not setting a precedent that we're bound to, kind of like you were pointing out, where if we prove this gentleman's, use variance, then, how somebody else might interpret that.
Yeah.
So,
Like setting up a junkyard.
Except. That is expressly prohibited, though.
I mean, the fact that he already owns the property would be different. Where the other outfit was looking to buy, we could just say, well, then, go buy in the areas that are zoned for it and it won't be a concern.
Right.
But even, I don't know, the C2, I'm not so sure.
And it doesn't fit under any of the definitions in C2 either.
Yeah,
I didn't see anything else in the minutes.
neither did I. It's just the spelling correction.
All right, I move that we approve the minutes of the February 18th minutes with the one minor correction.
So,
Who was that, sorry? Who was,
It was both Matt and.
Vice Chairman Left?
Aye.
Board Member Gainsler?
aye,
Chairman Gage?
Aye.
Board Member Boggs?
Aye,
Board Member Leoni?
Aye.
No,
make a motion that we adjourn the March 18th meeting.
I'll second that.
Board Member Gainsler?
Aye.
Chairman Gage?
Aye.
Vice Chairman Left?
Aye.
Board Member Boggs?
aye.
Board Member Leoni?
Aye.